Hello everyone, this is Ron from High Tech Legion, and we basically have smart TVs these days. These are TVs that have more than the cable functionality that we're used to. We don't have to rely on big service providers to kind of bring in the channels we want. We can basically just handpick the content we need from the internet, as it has internet connectivity. The problem is, of course, that each model TV differs with the functionality delivered. For example, I have a smart TV, but it was, I believe it got 2010, but it is limited in terms of internet connectivity. It only has a hardwired Ethernet connection, and for me to have wireless functionality on it, I have basically to purchase a $100 dongle. So that's with that amount of money, I think I can find a better solution. For example, the Pivos Xios. It is pretty much the latest media player from Pivos. It is very, very small, and it consumes a lot less power, and for pretty much the same amount of money I would spend to purchasing an extra dongle for my smart TV for the wireless connectivity, I could buy the Pivos Xios, which I believe retails for $114.99 to $119.99 currently. It is basically an Android-based media player, and also has a custom firmware running Linux. And we're working closely with XBMC in order to bring in that platform on the Android. And also they update it regularly. And let's check out what we can find inside each box. See that the packaging is very compact, since the Xios DS media player itself is very, very small. Here is a card inside, just reminding you to update to the latest firmware for full compatibility, available at the Pivos website. And the main unit here, see just how compact that is. It measures 3.3 inches square and just 0.6 inches tall. Here in the front you get indicators, as well as an indicator for the wireless connectivity. It has a built-in wireless N, of course backwards compatible with BG as well. And you have the micro-SD storage here on the right side, as well as a pair of USB 2.0 ports, an RJ45 port that runs at 10/100 speeds, which is it's not a gigabit line connector, but it is more than enough for transmitting high-speed, rather high definition video content. You got USB 2.0 port in the rear as well, so third USB 2.0 port, as well as the HDMI out connector, as well as a DCI in connector for the power, and the power on and off toggle switch. You have the serial numbers here on the right side, including the MAC address, and at the bottom you get a serial number, pin number, and basically this entire gray area right here is rubberized. Allows the Pivos Xios media player to stay in place when it's on top of your desk. Doesn't move around. And let me just put that aside. Take a look at the bottom compartment here that contains the included accessories, which has, of course, the adapter. This is has an LED indicator here at the rear, but it is a 5-volt 1000 milliamp output adapter. Also a built-in, rather a bundled HDMI cable, which allows you to use the Xios DS media player right out of the box, and the remote control, which so you can use it right out of the box as well, has an included battery already. You just need to pull this tab out, and let's see what kind of battery it has. It has a CR2025 battery you can replace when it runs out. You have the power menu, back info, and the volume control on the left side. Is very, very light. You have the OK button and the navigation buttons right in the center. Of course, the infrared sensor at the top, and more importantly, the user's guide. This is an all-English user's guide. It's quite detailed, telling each of the functionality, and also lists the features here. It has an ARM Cortex A9 CPU running at 800 megahertz, and it has a 512 megabyte DDR2 ROM, and let's see here. So if that's ROM or RAM memory, maybe that's the internal storage. Well, we'll figure it out once we run it. Layout here. What will be better now is to, of course, plug in the Pivos Xios DS media player, show you the functionality, and see how well it performs. Alright, just click on the description below if you want to see me show the overview of the Xios DS running on the Android platform, and I show the XBMC and also some of their functionality. Just click on the description below and you see the other video. I've been using it for a while now, for about 2 weeks, and my first impressions, one thing that really surprised me was the power consumption. It was, when I'm loading, where I'm streaming at 1080p video, it was just consuming 6 watts, and that's pretty great. And on idle, it was about, I think I clocked in at 3-4 watts, something like that, but it's still pretty good. That's only 2 watts more on load, so you can practically leave it on the entire time. But that's the only downside. But it actually takes a while to boot from cold boot. When you plug it in, it will boot to the Android desktop automatically, and took about 2 or 3 minutes, I believe 3 minutes. But other than that, it comes out. It's plenty snappy for me. I was actually surprised with the XBMC performance. This is the latest build with the XBMC. This is the Frodo build, and I thought that it will show noticeable lag just when navigating, but it was actually it was able to play back my 1080p video. Although I'm still having problems with the MTS 1080p video directly from my camcorder. I haven't had a good experience with that anyway, even on my powerful desktop with the XBMC. So maybe I need to figure something out with that. But so the same thing with that. But my H.264 1080p was playing perfectly fine, and also I tried Netflix. There was some issue I encountered at the beginning. The audio was playing back. I downloaded the Netflix app from Google Play. And then I ran it, and then the audio was playing back, but the screen was black. And I just basically went to Pivos' forums and checked out the solution there. It was plenty quick. I had to download another app from the App Store, and it allows me to edit some of the advanced features on the OS. And I just basically had changed that setting, and now I'm able to watch my Netflix streaming. Also, YouTube functionality. I could download YouTube. I downloaded the YouTube app and watch YouTube from the desktop. And in terms of loading times, the entire Netflix app takes a little bit of time to load, but once it's loaded, just actually when you're inside of that and you're clicking on the actual which episode you want to stream, it loads pretty fast. In terms of functionality, if you just want a pure media streaming server, just an XBMC, I suggest running the Linux version. It is, of course, obviously a lot snappier since there's no overhead of the OS. But if you want the flexible features that provided by Android OS, such as the web browsing and other apps that you might want to download, you could probably keep just the Android OS. Of course, expect the Linux to perform a lot better. And it's still not completely stable. I had a couple of crashes I encountered. I had to reset. I had to do a hard reset because the Google Store stopped working. It was saying no connection, but I had to restart it, and I was able to connect again and download something. Other than that, I'm surprised with the stability of it, especially the speed, but it's still not completely stable, of course, for the Android build. But the Linux, if you want to run that, you can do that. And also in terms of the specs, having 3 USB ports was a good feature to have, since you can attach wireless remotes as well. I attached a USB dongle for my wireless keyboard and mouse. So it's added functionality because it's a lot easier to navigate the screen. That was my concern with the remote they provided. It was a little bit basic, and it's a little bit cumbersome and clunky in terms of kind of navigating the Android desktop. But in terms of navigating XBMC, it was suitable. It was perfectly fine. And since it has a battery already and you have HDMI cable, it was pretty much ready to go. All you need to do was, of course, build your library. If you have a NAS already set up for your media files, you can just connect it and it will play back your files immediately after that. Should I give this award? I actually give it a gold award. There were some quirks, but because of the open nature of it, the fact that you can customize it, plus I checked out the support that they provide. Pivos actually has a very dedicated staff, it seems, compared to other media players. We've checked out previous media players before, and I've been tracking history of kind of Android-based media players, and a lot have been providing locked versions, and they've since stopped supporting it, unlike Pivos, which still to be seem to be dedicated to it. And plus, that's pretty much what they do. They provide these media player boxes compared to other companies which provide a lot more than just OEM media player boxes and just put their brand on it and put their own firmware. So that's good. That's why I believe it deserves a gold award. Although I wish, of course, I'll be keeping an eye on it. I want the Android to be a lot more stable than it is. They're pretty much working closely with XBMC. So I just expect a lot of better things to go with this media player. And that's pretty much it. You can check out the rest of the review. I didn't go into detail on how to set up XBMC since it can be quite complex if you need to be. So plus the video was already 17 minutes, my software overview video. So if you want more details on that, I suggest Googling it. There's plenty of resources available on Pivos' website. There's plenty of forums there, but also AV forums. Check that out. There's plenty of users out there who want this build, who want this low power media player, who are using it and utilizing the XBMC build on it. So check that out. And this is Ron, once again, signing out. You can read the rest of the review clicking on the more info below at hightechlegion.com. You can leave questions or comments. You can visit us on Facebook, facebook.com/HLReviews. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel for daily updates, youtube.com/hightechlegion. And this is Ron, once again, signing out.